Kyle Busch turned 37 years old today and came home with a win. I think that's one of the really best birthday presents ever. Kyle Busch has never lost on his birthday, and that trend continued today. Welcome back to another video. My name is Simpson and welcome to a NASCAR race review video. Kyle Busch cashed the ticket into victory lane today. As you guys know, Kyle Busch is my favorite driver, but I'm going to keep this episode to a minimum of me celebrating Kyle Busch's win and just me going over the hard-hidden stuff that happened at this race. There was so much that happened, including a little bit of controversy that I do want to get to a little bit in this episode. This episode is coming out on a Monday today. I apologize for recording this Sunday night though, so just so you guys know, this video just not being edited tonight, but it is coming out Monday. So hope you guys are in the mood for some NASCAR race review. Let's get right into the recap right here. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit on my race recap. And stage one, won by Kyle Busch. A pretty epic battle with him and Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson had a really fast car, and I wonder why. You know, Kyle Larson won stage two. Kyle Larson was dominating this race at Las Vegas just a few years ago, and then he comes into this race and is, let's just say it, dominating again. I mean, dominating this event, dominating this race. It was pretty epic of him. I mean, yeah, how his car was handling that good. Basically brought the same car from Las Vegas to Kansas. I mean, if he keeps doing this, he's definitely going to win another one of these races. Kind of got unlucky at the end, though. Got some damage to that car after kind of making some contact. We'll talk about those final two laps of this race and how they all went. But, I mean, it was pretty good. It was a good race overall, and Kyle Larson just had such a fast car, ended up winning stage two. Stage three comes around, and it all starts with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin running really good off those pit stops, and then crashes, getting into the back of the wall. You know, he's battling so hard. He's full throttle. You could hear it in the in-car cameras. He's full throttle, full speed. He gets into the wall. Kyle Larson able to pass him. He blows the tire. Caution comes out, and cautions give to other cautions. More and more cautions come out, and we end up getting a two-lap shootout at the end of this race. It was a good one. It was a good lap shootout. It was a good race, ending thin there, and Kyle Busch had to pick. You know, there's interesting situation here. Cars with fresher tires towards the back. Kyle Busch in the front with Kyle Larson. Very good thing that needs to happen here. Kyle Larson's back because he dropped. So Blaney is, which side's Ryan Blaney going to take? Because we get to choose somewhere. Ryan Blaney went up to go with Kyle Larson. And at this point, I was like, Kyle Busch is most likely going to want to go with his teammate, Martin Truex Jr. That's going to be what he wants to do, and that would make the most sense to me for him to go to his teammate, try to work with his teammate there, and then they can sort to the front. So I think that's exactly what his intentions were. They got together, his teammate. You see Kyle Busch waving out the window towards the end there because he did spin the tires a little bit. So letting Martin Truex know, brake. I spun my tires. I spun my tires a little. But he was still able to get up to the front, and then chaos kind of inverted there with Kyle Larson turning and a few other drivers getting collected. Ryan Blaney is one of those drivers that got collected at the end of this one. And it really did lead to a very good finish of this race. Kyle Busch making his next win. Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch battles, you know, have been very good throughout the years, including this one. I think this one will go in the books of Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson battles. They're very good ones, and I think that this one was very good as well. So I want to talk about an incident that occurred a few laps before the end of this race, and just a little incident. Maybe a little incident and maybe a big incident. Tyler Reddick was pitting and his tire went all the way into the grass. and just parked there. It kind of just stood there. And, this really isn't anywhere in the rule book. This isn't anywhere in the rule book. And NASCAR historically would throw a caution, but NASCAR said they're going to wait. And this is also historically for the whole pit cycle to go through. Well, Chris Buescher said, there's a tire right there. They're probably going to throw the caution. I'm going to stay out. But NASCAR didn't throw the caution, and for Chris Buescher's team, they're like, well, as soon as I come to pit road, are they going to throw this caution and then really just mess me up? And NASCAR did do that. They threw the caution, messed Chris Buescher up. In my opinion, it messed Chris Buescher up, and his whole team was stuck there, stranded on, eventually after the chaos ensued, though, they were able to get their lap back. But I think that NASCAR has too many rules that are they're just gray area rules. These rules aren't put in stone. And I think NASCAR needs to put these rules in stone. An uncontrolled tire down the straightaway, what does that mean? Like, what does this uncontrolled tire mean if you are racing? If you're on the racetrack, what does this uncontrolled tire mean? Does this uncontrolled tire mean that there is, like, a wreck? What does this uncontrolled tire mean? And how does NASCAR fix this uncontrolled tire, issue? They need to do something here where NASCAR fixes the issue. And they have not addressed the issue. This uncontrolled tire is sitting right on the track. What does this mean for the teams that want this tire, number one, off the track? Number two, they don't want a tire sitting on the racetrack. I wouldn't want a tire sitting on the racetrack if I'm NASCAR, right? I don't want that if I'm NASCAR. But I also think that they are considering, well, if we throw the caution here, that's going to mess a lot of drivers up. We want a good race at the end. I also think NASCAR, in this situation, was considering the finish. Because if they didn't put that caution out, I think they thought this was the best opportunity to keep the race and really getting interested as well. We saw this way back at the Daytona Road Course, where they threw this caution out and really did it on purpose, just to wreck the field, really make the field tighten up and get for a good finish. Now, here, I don't know if that was their intention. I tend to believe that it might not have been, but it could have been. This very well could have been their intention. And why would it be their intention, you might be asking me? I think this could be a case of, hey, we need to ensure our fans a good finish. Kyle Larson's been dominating all day. Maybe we want to get we want to make it a better finish. I think that's something that easily could have been their consideration. Easily could have been what they were thinking about. But I also think that it's just not in the rule book. And it needs to be in the rule book that if there's an uncontrolled tire that goes onto pit road during pit cycles, NASCAR will wait for pit cycles to go all the way through and then throw the caution. That's an easy thing that they can put into the rule book that isn't there. And I think that needs to be there. Until it is, I think NASCAR is going to have to deal with these big gray areas and these areas on the racetrack that are concerning to fans. These are gray areas that need to be resolved. That we've seen this time after time, and I've not brought it up here on the show until today. I've not brought it up on the show, but these gray areas in the rule book, just if I'm NASCAR, I just wish NASCAR would address them. I wish they would make them better than they are, and I think NASCAR will eventually address these rules. I think, this one's another instance of, well, what do we do? This is a gray area in the rule book. You look at all other sports that we even cover here. They don't have these gray areas in the rule book as much as NASCAR does. They have it pretty straight out. Sure, they're different sports, but there can't be, this book, the rule book in NASCAR, there can't be a gray area in it where you can kind of give some leeway to NASCAR to send. I want NASCAR to have the least amount of control over a race that they can. I want the drivers to have all of the control. NASCAR, I think, in the rule book right now has way too much control, and I want them to have the least amount that they can. So, with that said, I think it's the time to break down some of the major storylines like we always do and take a look at the finishing results. Let's get into it right now. Okay, Kyle Busch won the race. A lot more coming up on probably going to be my favorite. Probably going to be my absolute favorite winner spotlight ever to do, but Kyle Busch wins coming up in second. Kevin Harvick wasn't really much in the picture today. Again, SHR struggling. Not really much action coming out of there on a mile and a half when the NASCAR world really is set in a mile and a half. So Kevin Harvick finished second. Is what it is. He finished second, and we're just going to have to think about, well, what could have happened if he didn't finish second? What could have he done instead of like he could have won this race if he had a good car. He was. I mean, let's not say he wasn't in it. He was towards the front of the day, but kind of just was fled back. Didn't have much for the leaders. Brett Keselowski did kind of fled in the second stage, but in the third stage came back, rallied to third, had really fresh tires. Mattia DeBetto today with the top 4, big for him in the points, trying to hold on. Kind of remember at the beginning of the season we were talking about, I don't think Mattia DeBetto is going to bring there. With there being now 10 new winners, there is now 6 spots left in the playoffs, and there's going to be a lot going on. So Chase Elliott finished 5th, Martin Truex Jr. in 6th, Tyler Reddick in 7th today. Chris Buescher was a top 8. You know, after that strategy call that kind of NASCAR kind of messed him up with by that caution, finishing 8th, really good. Part of that chaos got that. William Byron was running really good. He finished 9th today, but I think that he could have done way better. I really want to know what happened to that car. Austin Dillon in 10th, Daniel Suarez in 11th, Denny Hamlin in 12th, Michael McDowell with a top 15 today. That 34 is looking fast again. Ross Chastain with a top 15 in 14th, Kurt Busch in 15th, Ryan Newman 16th, Joey Logano with that. He was running up front. He had another pit call where he got 2 tires instead of 4. If the cautions didn't come out, it might have worked out for him, but they did. He finished 17th. Alex Bowman 18th. Kyle Larson got into that incident. You know, we talked about how dominant he was all day. Got into an incident, finished 19th. And talk about Stewart Haas racing struggles. 20th finish for Chase Briscoe. I had high hopes for Chase Briscoe. Really high hopes. And I still have some expectations towards the second half when we get to some of these tracks for the second time. I still have some expectations for him, but they weren't as high as they were. Ryan Blaney 21st today. That's one of your first notable finisher. Basically just because of kind of all that happened at the end of that race, he kind of messed himself up. Austin Cindric finished just behind him, actually. Another notable finisher. He was able to, he got caught up in a wreck at the end of that one, came back for 22nd. You know, Austin Cindric running those races for Penske. Cole Custer 24th. Bubba Wallace 26th. A tough day for Bubba. Christopher Bell 28th. Eric Almirola, a tough day. So those are your finishing results. And let's get to winner spotlight. Here's the facts about Kyle Busch. Everything you need to know about Kyle Busch right over there. And now let's get into the race. Let's get into Kyle Busch's. What does this win do? 10th new winner of the season. Actually, they named this race the Busch McBusch 400 because the fans got to name it. Hey, and a Busch won the race, right? That's pretty good. Kyle Busch has never lost on his birthday, and that trend continued today, winning on his birthday. Pretty epic thing. He has never lost a race on his birthday. So last time was Richmond. He won. Here he won. So that stuff is pretty awesome for Kyle, and I think that Kyle Busch has really started to come back a little bit. You know, last season was terrible. 2020, it's just 2020, and coming into this season, I was hoping that it would be a turnaround year with Ben Beshore. That concerned me, was Ben Beshore being back. It concerned me, but now seeing how Ben has been able to take the team for a win early in the season. This is early. This is only the 10th race. The 11th race, excuse me, I believe. The 11th race. This is only the 11th race of the season. Now, we're already talking about playoffs in some cases here because this is such a big season and this is such a big high hopes. But this is also an amazing, amazing opportunity for Kyle and his team to get this win right here. And now having some more tracks that might benefit them coming up. Now, Darlington next week. Kyle Busch is not bad at Darlington, so watch him to do good at Darlington. You know, there's so many tracks that he could do good at coming up, and so I think that's a good thing, and I think that could benefit him, and I think that could benefit his team. I hope it does. I really do hope it does, and I hope Kyle Busch continues to dominate this year. As a Kyle Busch fan, this was a great win, a nerve-wracking one, but an awesome win, so I'll give you a fan perspective. Of course, I'm very happy, trying to keep it as least amount of biasm as I can here on this show. But I really did enjoy this win, and I think this is a big win for Kyle Busch. This is a big win for Ben Beshore. You know, remember this little battle we talked about back when Christopher Bell won the Adam Stevens versus Kyle Busch Ben Beshore battle? Well, guess what? Adam Stevens and Ben Be Sure, I think, are tied in the battle right now. I mean, I think maybe Ben's got a slight uphand. I think they're tied in this battle going on. The other thing I wanted to quickly mention here is that recently Eric Step, who is a NASCAR YouTuber, go subscribe to him, amazing channel, but he interviewed the 20 of Christopher Bell about this Adam Stevenson, and the 20 said, yeah, I don't really talk to Kyle about the crew chiefs very much, about Adam Stevens, because Kyle did not want this to happen. I'm hoping Kyle Busch is warming up to Ben now. Of course, as a Kyle Busch fan, I didn't want this to happen, but I think that after hearing some of what did happen in that situation, I think that Kyle Busch being back to where he probably should be is good. So that's kind of just my take on it. I mean, that my take is my take, but I think that it was very good. It was good to see Kyle Busch back in victory lane, and we'll be talking about that battle all season. I told you guys that battle between those two, it's going to be epic. All right, let's get to hit the gas or hit the brakes. Quickly, I want to mention that this month is a big month for NASCAR. NASCAR is heading to Darlington next week for the Throwback Weekend. So here's a little self-promotion. Friday, we will have a big throwback Fun Friday edition where we'll be looking at the throwback paint schemes for the weekend. So I would stay tuned for that if I were you guys. I mean, it might get pretty amazing. It might get pretty epic in a few days. So I would stick around. I would stay tuned. But besides that, I think this is going to be a good race next weekend. And then they got COTA coming up the Coca-Cola 600. They got COTA. They got the All-Star race is in June, not in this month. My bad. The All-Star race isn't this month. It's in June. My bad. Sorry. No All-Star race. But let's get into hit the gas or hit the brakes. This race was very exciting. This race was very interesting from start to finish. I enjoyed it. Towards the end of this race, those last good chunk of that end of that race was amazing. I was glued to my television screen. I did not want Fox to go to a commercial. FS1 actually today. I did not want them to go to commercial, and that's very good racing. Stage 2 still had decent racing, but not as great, especially towards the end of Stage 2. So I'm going to give this race a B+. I'm hitting the gas. I'm giving it a B+. A very decent race today, as I mentioned. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Gave it a B+. On the high end of a B+, almost an A-. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Pass and grade for this Kansas race. Kansas had one off race, I think. Kansas is one of the best mile and a halfs on the track. Actually, I think Kansas is my favorite mile and a half. It always does really good racing, and I like having it twice in the schedule, and I think the spring race is always kind of better than the fall race. I really don't know why that is, but I think that's just the way I view it. Thank you all for watching this video. Again, self-promotion. Wednesday, a news video. Friday, we got that Fun Friday. Hopefully I can get everything to stay on time, second week of 5 days of school. So I might figure out the schedule this time, but thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And, yeah, I'll see you guys Wednesday. Peace.